When my former district launched a leadership professional development pipeline, I was excited to be a part of it. I had the privilege of teaching several courses designed to help aspiring leaders grow their skills and prepare for the next step in their journey. Now, out of all the courses I taught, one quickly became my favorite. It was created for individuals who needed a little extra support to pass the final exam required to complete the program. Now, these were talented, committed educators. Each of them had completed all the necessary coursework, but needed focused guidance to cross the line. Now, because the participants had met the core requirements, I had the freedom to take a personalized approach. So, instead of sticking to a standard curriculum, I zeroed in on the unique needs of each individual. I worked closely with them to strengthen their knowledge, build their confidence, and sharpen the skills that would help them succeed, not just on the exam, but in their future leadership roles. The results? Well, they were inspiring. Every single participant passed the program's exit exam. But even more meaningful to me, every one of them went on to become a successful school administrator. That experience affirmed something that I deeply believe. When we meet people where they are and invest in their growth with intentional support, we create the conditions for success. Personalized leadership development isn't just a strategy. It is a commitment to the potential of every future leader. So let's talk about the critical role of targeted professional development in leadership growth. You see, in today's rapidly evolving educational landscape, developing strong leaders isn't a luxury, but a necessity. While many districts acknowledge the importance of leadership development programs, the effectiveness of these initiatives often hinges on one critical component: purposefully designed professional development workshops. According to a comprehensive study by Darling Hammond, effective leadership development programs share a common feature. They include targeted professional development experiences that build on specific leadership capacities rather than generic management skills. So, when thoughtfully integrated into comprehensive development programs, these workshops are the engine of meaningful leadership transformation. Now, you may be wondering, why are these workshops so essential? Well, let me tell you. They create structured opportunities for aspiring and current leaders to develop specific competencies, practice new skills in low-stakes environments, and receive immediate feedback before implementing strategies in their schools. As Leithwood noted in his landmark research, leadership effects are usually largest where they are needed most. So targeted workshops ensure that leadership development addresses the most pressing needs of schools and districts. So let's talk about the types of workshops that transform educational leadership. The first one is data-informed decision-making workshops. There are several key learning objectives for these workshops, but I'm going to talk about three in particular. First is analyze various forms of educational data. So it helps to build capacity for looking at data around achievement, attendance, climate surveys. It also helps identify meaningful patterns that inform strategic planning. And it develops data visualization skills to communicate findings effectively. There are a couple of interactive components to this type of workshop. Case studies, they make it so that the school data is anonymous, which helps them facilitate the learning. It also, in this type of workshop, allows for collaborative problem-solving sessions using actual district challenges. And by practicing, you create data dashboards that tell compelling improvement stories. So as a leader, why is this so important? Because when leaders master data analysis, they move from making decisions based on intuition to evidence-based leadership. So this creates a greater transparency, builds trust with stakeholders, and helps leaders target resources where they'll have maximum impact on student outcomes. Courageous Conversations Facilitator Training is the next type of workshop. So develop skills to lead difficult but necessary discussions about equity, performance, and change is one of the key learning objectives. But another one is to practice depersonalizing conflict while addressing substantive issues, and to master strategies for maintaining psychological safety during challenging conversations. So here are 3 interactive components of this type of workshop. Role playing that helps to facilitate professional conversations. Video analysis of successful and unsuccessful difficult conversations. And structured protocols for planning and executing high-stakes discussion. I know this process works, this type of training works, because I saw it with one of my APs. She would actually script out her conversations when she was going to have a courageous conversation with one of our staff members. Now, the benefit of doing that was, first, it kept her organized and the main thing. 2, it helped her build courage and confidence in her ability to actually have an effective conversation. And 3rd, it made sure that when the person left out of the room, they had clarity around the purpose of the conversation as well as the expectations to improve. You see, the leadership application of this type of workshop is the ability to facilitate different conversations, because this is perhaps the most distinguishing characteristic between effective and ineffective leaders. So when leaders master this skill, it allows them to address performance concerns, navigate change resistance, and tackle equity issues that might otherwise remain undiscussed. Our 3rd type of workshop is distributed leadership and team empowerment. Now, key learning objectives for this type of workshop includes identify leadership potential in diverse staff members, design systems that distribute decision-making appropriately, and create structures that develop leadership capacity throughout the organization. So what are the interactive components? Well, first and foremost, leadership capacity audits of participants' current school teams. So where are the areas of strength? Where are the areas of growth? Next, designing leadership development plans for promising team members. Who are those stars that just need a little extra support? And last but not least, simulations of distributing significant initiatives across staff teams. You see, leaders who master distributive leadership principles create sustainable improvement systems that don't depend solely on their presence. That is the leadership application, because this approach builds ownership, enhances staff retention, and develops leadership pipelines that ensure institutional knowledge isn't lost during transitions. So now that we've talked about types of workshop, let's talk about how to sequence your strategic workshops for optimal development. You see, the sequencing of these workshops matters significantly. Research by the Wallace Foundation demonstrates that leadership development is most effective when it follows a developmental trajectory. So we'll start in the fall, beginning with self-awareness and foundational leadership workshops. Next, we'll move to winter, and in the winter time frame, we'll work on progressing to skill building in areas like data analysis and courageous conversations. In the spring, we advance to system building workshops focused on distributive leadership and sustainable change. We'll wrap up in the summer with the integration workshops that will help leaders synthesize learning into cohesive leadership approaches. So I hope you can see that this sequence ensures that participants build upon earlier learnings, creating a scaffolded approach that deepens implementation with each subsequent workshop. Now, being an educator, I know you're wondering, is there research to support this? And the answer is yes. The investment in targeted leadership workshops yields a substantial return. A longitudinal study by Grissom and Loeb found that districts implementing comprehensive leadership development programs saw a 24% higher teacher retention rate, increased student achievement gains averaging 5 to 7 percentile points, improved school climate scores, and greater success in implementing district-wide initiatives. So as you can see, the financial investment in targeted workshops pales compared to the cost of leader turnover, failed initiatives, and stalled improvement efforts. In order for this sequence to work, though, it is very important to evaluate your professional development approach. So as an administrator, I challenge you to evaluate your current leadership development offerings, and please do it honestly. Ask yourself, do they include targeted workshops that build specific leadership skills? Are they sequenced intentionally to build upon previous learning? Do they provide both theoretical knowledge and practical application opportunities? Now, if you answered no to any of these questions, that's okay. But it's time now to reimagine your approach to developing the leaders your district needs. Our students deserve nothing less than transformative leaders with the skills to lead today's complex educational organizations. Harvey S. Firestone, the founder of Firestone Tire and Rubber Company, said, "The growth and development of people is the highest calling of leadership." So, what's the first workshop you'll redesign to begin this transformation.